Hello, and welcome back to my little corner of personal hell. I am a big lover of movies. I am a film major, which you know what you're thinking. Good luck with that. Thank you. You sound just like my mom. I just love movies. I watch a lot of movies. And I really like bad movies, which sounds weird. You're thinking, why do you like bad movies? They're bad for a reason. Yes, of course. But when I say bad movies, I mean those B movies that are like so bad they're good. Chef Kiss. And I've come across a lot of these because I am a big proponent of not giving Amazon more money than I already goddamn give them. So if something's free on Amazon Prime, which is a service I'm already paying for, I'll watch that movie if it has an actor that I like in it. And in this case, we do have an actor that I like in it. So this is a 90s movie, so that it is probably one of the most 90s movies I've ever seen. And it's an inspirational sports movie, which is my favorite genre. I've seen a lot of sports movies in my day because I've just watched them with my dad, who has a lot of sport movies. This one is probably the best, worst one I've ever seen. It tries to be funny, but it's not funny like Happy Gilmore is. And I know you're thinking, really, Natalie, an Adam Sandler movie? You like an Adam Sandler? Yeah, I like an Adam Sandler movie. So sue me. And it's not necessarily as inspirational as, I don't know, name any fucking sports movie in all of existence. But yeah, this movie's called Necessary Roughness. It was made in 1991, and it stars Scott Bakula, who you may or may not know, depending on, like, how old you are, or, like, if you're a nerd. If you don't know Scott Bakula, he played Dr. Sam Beckett on Quantum Leap, which is one of my favorite TV shows. And then he went on to play Captain Jonathan Archer in Star Trek Enterprise. I want to just get into this movie because I just recently watched it, like, maybe a week ago, and immediately after I watched it, I was like, fuck, I gotta make a YouTube video about this. You know how everybody's brains work, logically. Like, oh, I see something funny and go, haha, time to make a commentary video for people on the internet. Okay, so this movie starts out with a Texas college football team. All their members got fucking kicked off because they were doing steroids and they're like taking illegal bets. I don't really know how sports work, but they all got in trouble, so they all got kicked out. The main coach got kicked out, I think, too, so then like the assistant coach became the main coach. It's like it starts with this news report about this Texas college, and there's like live camera footage of just these people, like these football players, like out in the blue, like smuggling, like handing off steroids to each other, like very like not discreetly, and it's just really funny. Anyway, so yeah, they're like, oh shit, we gotta get a football team, but all our good guys have been kicked off because they're fucking doped up. And of course all the people who come to the football tryouts are god awful because it's an inspirational sports movie. They will get better in the end.
Show me the arm, son.
Throw the ball, genius.
And also, for some reason, the dean of the college is trying to sabotage their football season, which doesn't make a lot of sense because usually if somebody works for the college, they like the college. Just in my experience. I don't know why he hates the football team so much, but he's like shitting on them and like trying to sabotage them and like taking all their like good players away because they got like a C in algebra or some shit. And it's just a really weird villain to have. So the main coach dude is like, oh man, we gotta get this dude I know. It's this guy, I saw him play in high school, but then he just didn't go to college because his dad died and he had to like take over the farm. So we gotta go get Paul Blake, who is played by Scott Bakula. The thing about Paul Blake is if you're thinking to yourself, okay, this guy just never went to college, so he's probably like 20, 22, like it's just been a couple years since he graduated high school. Hey, you can come back to, why don't you come to college and join our football team? It's been 16 years. This man is 34 years old. They want him to enroll as a freshman at Texas State so that he can play football, which is weird. So he joins the football team. He enrolls in college as a freshman, a 34-year-old freshman, which I'm like not knocking people who go to college late. I'm mocking the fact that the only guy this coach could think about who could play football in apparently all of the state of Texas was this 34-year-old dude on a fucking farm. Also, he wears a lot of denim. He wears like jeans, and he wears like a jean shirt, and then he wears like a jean jacket. And it's the most 90s Southern outfit I've ever fucking seen, because he's also got like cowboy boots on. It's very Texan. Okay, so the thing about Scott Bakula's character Paul, he's older. He's quite older than any or at least most of the college freshmen. So you think, oh, so he'll like get an apartment off campus or maybe on campus. No, he lives in the dorms with a bunch of 18-year-olds. That's weird, okay? That's weird. That's not normal. I get it, like, from a comedic standpoint, like, haha, is this guy living in the dorms? How is that funny? It's so funny. Haha, he's too old to live in dorms. What? Logically speaking, if this was to be, like, real, which, I mean, this whole thing is dumb anyway. I mean, a 34-year-old guy deciding to abandon his, like, entire goddamn farm industry to play fucking college football. That's not gonna happen. But him being in a college dorm with like 18 to like 21-year-olds is fucking weird. That's creepy. That's kind of creepy. That's kind of weird. He would get like an apartment. He can get an apartment. Maybe it's like if you're playing football as a freshman, you gotta live in the dorms. I don't know how football works. I don't know how college football works. I don't play college football. I don't watch college football. I don't even go to college. No, I go to college. He goes to the gym, as one does, and he meets this woman. Her name's Suzanne. She's a journalism professor. And they meet, and they fall in love at first sight. But he kind of lies to her and says that he's a professor too. And then he goes to her class, and she's like, hey, what the fuck are you doing here? And he kind of still has a crush on her, but she's like, no, I'm not gonna date you. You're a student. There's a power imbalance here. More football montage. We love football. Football's so fun. Okay, so Sinbad's in this movie. I don't know why Sinbad's in this movie, but he's here. He's kind of this comedic relief character that isn't funny.
Andre does not eat raw meat because Andre is a vegetarian.
Sinbad is playing this guy named Andre, and he's a professor, and he joins the football team. I think he might be like a teaching assistant, because he ends up joining the football team after Scott Bakula was like, hey bro, join the football team. So now we got 2 good football players on this team. So there's like a montage, not really a montage, but there's just like, they're playing different schools in Texas and they're losing because they fucking suck. And Rob Schneider is basically just doing stand-up comedy at that point. He's not really like narrating or like announcing anything about what's going on. Everyone's getting pissed off because they're not good at football. And then Andre's like, let's go partay. Let's go get fucking drunk. Let's go get lit the fuck up. So they go to a bar and they meet their rival team and then immediately get into a bar fight. The dean is there and he's like, oh, fucking football team better knock it off or I'll cancel all football in the entire world. No more football. So then Scott Bakula gets like a stern talking to by the coach. So then Scott Bakula goes to his girlfriend professor's house and is like, bro, can you stitch me up? I got in a bar fight. Which, thinking about it, I just got into a bar fight and I was injured. I don't think I would immediately go to my professor's house. I think I would like go to the hospital or like do it myself at my own place, but to each their own. It turns out she was on the like rival high school football team. The like game he played that like made everyone go, wow, he's good at football. And she like was obsessed with him and like thought he was like so cute and so awesome and oh my gosh, I love you so much. So they decided they need a kicker. So they get this girl named Lucy who's on the soccer team to kick for them. And at first everyone was like, she's a girl, she can't play sports. And then it turns out she's really good at kicking because she's a soccer player. And there's this really good, like, there's this really awesome scene where this guy, like, tackles her. And he goes, welcome to football. So then she gets up and she says, okay, welcome to football. And then she kicks him in the fucking balls.
Welcome to football!
I think, like, tie or something. And everyone's like, yay, we tie. That's, like, good enough, right? And Scott Bakula's like, no. Scott Bakula meets up with his professor girlfriend. And then the dean's there. And he's like, oh, you two are fucking? Oh, well, you would get kicked off the football team for fucking your teacher. And he's like, who cares? We're both the same age. And she's like, no, I'm not going to admit that you're my boyfriend because they're not dating at all. So I don't know why he was so adamant that she admit that they are dating to the dean.
Hey guys, editor Natalie here. So there's this party that's thrown by Jarvis Edison's dad, who's really rich and he has a couple buildings on campus named after him. He throws a party and his goal is to give all the football players these nice matching jackets and to sponsor them.
And so then the coach comes up and he's like, "No, we can't have this. You can't you're bribing our teammates." Which he's not. He's not really bribing them at all. He's just saying, "Here are some cool jackets and we're going to pay for some of your stuff. So y'all ain't broke no more." So then Scott's there dressed in all denim as per usual, and he's drunk and he gets all pissed off and he's like, "These people have been like working their asses off for you, coach, for this football team, and you're telling them they just can't have a nice night, and that's fucking bullshit." And then the coach is like, "Yeah, but it's the rules," which there is no rule that you cannot have sponsors. That is one thing I do know about sports. You can have sponsorships, and in fact, you need sponsorships to have a sports team. And then like Scott delivers this really great line.
Rules? You know what you can do with your fucking rules?
What? Knock it off, knock it off.
I keep calling him Scott. His name is Paul in the movie. I keep kind of going in between. Don't worry about it. So then Scott Bakula quits. And so he's driving away. He's driving home. And that Edison kid, he's like, "Yeah, can you give me a ride? I'm running away from home." And Scott's like, "Why?" And it turns out he hasn't been passing his classes. Honestly, at least. He has like 2 cheerleaders doing his homework for him. And he knows he's not going to pass the final exam or like the midterms or some shit. So he's screwed and he's not going to be able to play football. So what's the point? And his dad's going to get all mad at him. So he's just leaving. And Scott's like, "You can't just like run away from your problems," he says as he's running away from his problem. He turns around and they go back to school, which is like the shortest amount of time I've ever seen a character be angry at someone else. So he rejoins the football team. He gets Jarvis a tutor, so Andre is tutoring Jarvis. So they all take the journalism exam, hosted by everybody's favorite sexy professor, Suzanne. Like, the dean comes in after the exam and is like, "Oh, I have a feeling that you're just passing all the football players unfairly, even though they didn't actually do the work." And she's like, "That's bullshit. Why would I do that?" And he's like, "Oh, because you're boning one of them, right?" So she gets all pissed off at the dean, and he's like, "Well, I think I should grade the papers because I will be unbiased," which is not fucking true. Everyone passes their journalism exam. Yay, we can play football now. Oh, and then also Suzanne and Scott Bakula have sex. It's not important for the plot line. I just thought you should know they had sex. So then the main coach has like a heart attack and he gets admitted to the hospital, so he can't coach this final game between their biggest rivals. So the assistant coach has to step in and he's fucking shit at his job, but that's okay. So then they're losing the football game, obviously. So then they take a break. Like, they take halftime. I don't know how sports work. They take a break. And they go into the locker room, and the coach just kind of has a meltdown. And he's like, "This goddamn suit and this goddamn team." And then he's like, "We're gonna fucking rip their heads off and shit down their necks." I'm just gonna play the scene. It's way funnier if I just play the scene.
That's the way you're gonna do it. You go out there, you tear their fucking heads off, and you shit down their necks. Let us pray.
Let us pray. The coach comes back, the other coach, because it turns out he just had indigestion. So he comes back to coach the rest of the game. They're either going to tie or they're going to win by 1 point. If they do the kick, they're going to tie, and everything's fine. You can tie. It's fine. So they do this, like, fake out with Lucy where it looks like she's going to do the kick, but then, like, they take it away and they throw it, and then they win. They win the game. Obviously, they win the fucking game. It's an inspirational sports movie. The dean gets fired because he's an asshole. This was an interesting movie. It's a lot of fun to watch bad movies like this, especially with people, because you can just pause it and just be like, "Okay, what the hell is going on here? This makes no sense." And it is so much fun. Scott Bakula is a goddamn national treasure, and if I catch you saying anything else, welcome to football. Anyway, if you liked this video, how about you give it a little thumbs up? And if you really like this video, why don't you hit that subscribe button? And if you really, really, really like this video, why don't you hit the little bell that's right next to the subscribe button? Yeah, you hit that bell. If you hit that bell, you instantly win $1 million. Trust me, it's real. It's totally not a scam to get you to hit it. Bye.